Welcome to the JMC True Crime channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's case requires you to think about this. Is it better to ask a question and get a definitive answer, even if it's not what you want to hear? Or is it better to not know and continue to hope, to wish, to dream? Perhaps this is what Monica Bowie's family have been wondering since 2007, since that fateful day when she was taken. Strap in and let's get stuck in. Monica Bowie was born in March of 1974. She lived in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with her mother Linda and her stepfather James. She was far from an only child. She was one of four. She had two sisters and a brother. She was very much so a do-it-yourself kind of person. She was very self-sufficient, very intelligent, and her loved ones knew this about her, specifically her mother. Then again, they say a mother always knows. Whilst I don't think that's always true, and I say this as someone who covers true crime, and when you cover true crime, you really are exposed to just how depraved some humans can be, and sometimes that includes mothers. But in this case, it couldn't be further from the truth. Monica's mother loved her, and Monica loved her mother. By all accounts, they had a healthy and loving relationship. In 1996, Monica graduated as class valedictorian. Being valedictorian was such a great indication of just how intelligent Monica was from such an early age. She thrived. Now, graduating from high school is a huge milestone in, I would say, most people's lives, or college or university, depending on where you're from. Now, that was certainly true for Monica. She was closing a chapter only to begin anew. For Monica, beginning anew meant moving. And when I say moving, I don't mean moving 5 minutes up the road. I mean moving states. Monica moved from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the only place she had known her entire life, and she moved to Atlanta, Georgia. She moved in with her best friend and quickly found a stable job. She was doing well. Like I said, she was independent, so she found ways to get by. And despite the distance, she did still keep in touch with her family. As Monica was very driven, she eventually established her own businesses, one being a clothing boutique and another being an event planning business. The event planning business was for hip-hop artists and high-status clients. To support and sustain her businesses, Monica needed extra funds, so she got a job as an exotic dancer at a club called the Blue Flame. Working at the Blue Flame proved to be quite marketable for Monica. She was able to meet a lot of rappers and artists that would help to grow her business even further. It was at the Blue Flame where Monica met Mark. Mark was also an entrepreneur, something he and Monica had in common, and soon they went into business together. It didn't take long before Monica had left the Blue Flame due to this new association, and in 2005, their relationship moved from being strictly professional to romantic. They became engaged, although this engagement did not last for very long. Monica, as ever being so business-minded, really wanted to devote most of her attention and her time to that endeavour, and so they broke it off, though they did so amicably. Monica then moved to Buckhead, Atlanta. It was and is known to be a wealthy district, and it's the third largest business district within the Atlanta city limits. Now, I don't know if that was a motivating factor for Monica to move, but it doesn't seem unreasonable to think so. It was in Buckhead where Monica found love again. Monica met and became engaged to Shanada Rico Walters, a man that, despite being very invested in the relationship, came with a heavy past. He had a history of drug sale arrests, and due to his general demeanour, Monica's mother Linda wasn't exactly supportive of their union. She believed that he was a little too young, a little too immature, and just not really Monica's match. And despite her mother voicing her opinions, Monica continued. She loved this man and she wanted to marry him. She was 34 years old, so she's a grown woman and well within her rights to do what's best for her. And so she did. She continued to plan their wedding, and in June of 2007, something significant happened. Rico asked to borrow her car so he could go to the barbershop. Monica said yes. What Monica didn't know is that shortly after Rico took the car, he would be stopped by the police. And the police, upon searching the car, discovered wads of cash, a firearm, and drugs. Monica, being the registered owner of the car, was contacted by the police, and she was astonished when they told her just what the call was about. And Monica told them, I don't know anything about this. I didn't know that he had these items. This has nothing to do with me. Sadly, though, because again, Monica was the registered owner of the car, she was arrested alongside Rico. This was a terrifying experience for Monica. Remember all that we know about her. She's intelligent, she's self-sufficient, she's a very kind, warm, loving person. And that's not to say that a person with those characteristics couldn't do this. But Monica didn't. If she had done this, it would have been extremely out of character. But in this case, she did not, which makes her arrest all the more infuriating. Thankfully, though, it didn't last long. She was quickly released as a result of her clean record. However, the same couldn't be said for Rico. The charges against Rico were subsequently dropped. However, he had to remain behind bars as he was on parole. He had previously served 2 years due to a drug conviction, and so his release wasn't imminent. The handgun, having been in his possession, was a parole violation. Despite Rico still being behind bars, Monica was standing by him. As a matter of fact, on the 4th of July 2007, she called her mother Linda to advise her that she needed to save the date for her wedding, which was due to take place on the 30th of March 2008. Monica was of course so happy to announce this. But what makes this phone call so tragic in hindsight is that this is the last phone call that would ever take place between Monica and her mother. This is the last time they would ever speak. The very next day, on the 5th of July, Monica had arranged a meeting with her attorneys. She had done this just because she wanted to be sure that she was on the other side of things in terms of her arrest. She didn't want it to pop up in the future and negatively impact her. So, she had the meeting, and once the meeting was over, she went back home, ready for a night of fun with her friends. And she had a lot of fun that night. Her friend had actually picked her up and dropped her off. And when her friend dropped her off, it wasn't too late. It wasn't early hours of the morning or anything like that. It was about 11 p.m. So quite reasonable for a night out with friends, if you ask me. Only a few minutes later, at approximately 11:14 p.m., something abhorrent happened. Something that still has so many people asking so many questions to this day. Monica was taken. Just like that, she was taken. She was abducted. 2 men participated in this ordeal. They appeared to be in their late 20s or 30s, and a 2002 maroon Mercury Sable was seen leaving Monica's apartment building. Now, you're possibly wondering how I know this, how this information is available to the public, and the answer is that so many of Monica's neighbours heard a woman screaming for help. And not just once, but multiple times. They did call 911, as many witnesses looked out of their windows and saw the car speeding off. They technically didn't see Monica, but they were adamant that the screams for help were coming from a woman. When the police arrived on scene, they found a jacket, broken fingernails, strands of hair, lots of evidence. Monica Bowie had just been abducted in plain sight, and even that didn't help her. Some suspects were arrested and later released. Monica's abduction took place on the 5th of July, 2007. She was 34 years old. We are now in December of 2022. It has been 15 years. 15 years. And to this day, no one knows what happened to her. Her family believe this happened as a result of her associations with certain kinds of people. But even then, that's nothing concrete. We don't know who those two men were. We don't know where they took Monica. We don't know what they did with Monica. We don't really know anything. Better yet, her family doesn't know. And they are the ones that deserve the answers. But instead, it's been 15 years of nothing. No closure. Nothing definitive. She could still be alive. Or she could be dead. If she is still alive, she would be in her late 40s. And if she's not, her family deserves a body to bury. They deserve to know her fate. This is an unbelievably tragic reality. And I think a big reason for that, aside from the fact that Monica was abducted in the very first place, is that the likelihood of knowing what happened to her is extremely low. So that means everyone that knew her, everyone that loved her, will likely never know what became of her. So they've had to grieve Monica without really getting a chance to say goodbye. Monica was supposed to be getting married in 2008. She was really excited about her relationship, her career, her life. She was only 34 years young. Monica Bowie. If you didn't know her name before, you know it now. And don't forget it. Thank you once again to everyone that has made it to this point in the video. I am so grateful. Please make sure you have hit the subscribe button and selected the YouTube bell so you get a notification every single time we post. Be seeing you again soon. Peace.